let's talk about spending and saving. There's different values for each, or maybe there isn't.
I was thinking about, and I think that's a great question because you'd like to think there's sort of two sides of the same coin, and I'm not sure how different they are. I mean, to me, a lot of it has to do with the lessons that people learned when they were young about saving. Spending is a little different because you don't have to pay money to buy something anymore. You have to put money in the bank if you want to save it. You can't put a promise in there. But when you pay by credit card, you haven't bought anything with money. Instead of in the old days, we had a butter and egg man in my neighborhood who would drive up to the house. And
wow, I didn't realize you were that old, Dave. A butter and egg man, have you ever? No.
So he would bring eggs, milk, butter, whatever into the house, and he would get cash for it. Kids don't really see that anymore today. They go with mommy or daddy to the supermarket, and a credit card comes out. When I was a kid, my mother paid for what she bought. Now she buys it, or now I guess what's happened in our society with credit or this near cashless society is that you buy it and then you pay for it later. And I think that's really different than saving, where you have to have it to put it in. And maybe that's why there's such a disparity in terms of the amount of credit that people have versus what they've put in the bank, because it's a lot easier to pull out a piece of plastic and pay for it that way than it is to use money.
Yeah, I tell my wife the worst thing you can do with money is spend it, but she doesn't always listen. So you're making a good point. You're saying that, I believe, that society is changing the values as opposed to families instilling values.
And they can turn that around because a lot of the personal finance gurus out there want people to start using cash again. So they feel it, so they get a real sense of what it's like to pay for something. This is true of Dave Ramsey, the guy who tells everyone to cut up their credit cards. It's true of Susie Orman, who says, touch your money every day. Know what you have in your wallet. I guess she was surprised that they would survey people, and people couldn't say how much money they actually had on them at any time. So touching it, that tactile thing, the more senses that you engage in the spending process, the better.